Hi everyone, New England Gardening here. So most of these figs I purchased from UC Davis, and a couple of the first cuttings I started from purchasing cuttings on eBay from a well-known fig grower. That's the Hardy Chicago and the Marseille VS Black. But believe it or not, these are about 5 years old. I think I've started most of these, or all of these, in 2009. And they're severely root bound with the roots just wrapping around the pot. So they really need a severe root pruning. It's actually going to be beneficial to the fig tree anyways. And the way the fig roots come out, you can actually bury this a little bit lower, and the fig's roots will form just above the original soil line and go into the soil. So you can see here, really wrapping around inside the pot, which if it was to continue, take it out of the pot, put it in the ground, probably strangle the plant. I don't know how resilient fig trees are to roots wrapping around them. But let's see, here's a Marseille VS Black. Take this one out and look at it. That's actually not that bad. I don't see the roots anywhere wrapping around, but this might be an easier one to do. Let's here's one here. Oh, see, that's one of the things with these labels is they become brittle and they break off, and you lose track of what they are. Even with the metal labels, the piece of wire they give you ends up getting brittle and can break off when the label falls down. You can see the roots here coming through the bottom of the pot. And it's a pretty good sized tree. Probably 36 inches long, tall. You can see the roots there. So let me show you how I'm going to root prune these, and it's also going to save on shipping costs, getting rid of all this soil and the root mass, reducing the root mass. So you can go from this, which, let's see if the scale weighs this. This way it goes up to like 10 pounds. I think that's the max, 10 pounds. Yep, 10 pounds. So we'll put this on. So that's 8 pounds, 4.6 ounces. And that's going to be a considerable cost in shipping. So you can go from that, or the one I just did, and that's this one. And this really had the roots wrapped around it, and a layer of moss and weeds on the top. And then I rinse it in water too, in a bucket, to get rid of any, or as much residual soil as possible. But this is dormant, so it's not evaporating any water. And again, this is going to be beneficial. Probably can even straighten out some of these roots. See how this one is just circling and going right back into the root ball here. So you could cut that. Let's see what this weighs. Might have to just hold this upright a little bit. So it's about 1 pound, 4 ounces, under 4 ounces. So I put this in the shipping tube, but of course now it fits in the shipping tube too, because I've reduced the root mass. Yeah, so what I do is I just take this bucket of water and rinse out as much of the soil as possible. And that's what I end up with. So there's no finessing this, you really just have to go right in there and start pruning. This one here was sitting on the soil. You could see it grew right through the pot. Take this out. Just start loosening the soil. These roots just wrap right around. So I gotta start cutting. So even though this looks severe, it really had to be done. And now more roots will grow out if this is given more room. I mean, even on the top there you can see some of the roots are still encircling the base there, so those could be cut. But if you put this, you know, below, bury this below the existing soil line here that this started with, more roots will form here, because I've seen it on even on cuttings, roots sprouting just above the soil line and going into the soil. So they're pretty resilient. And again, it's dormant, so it's not using a lot of moisture. The only thing is you have to really have to work the soil into around these roots, or you know, if you put this in a new pot, it might have the appearance that it's been repotted in soil, but you could have air pockets, so you really have to water it in and get that soil in around those roots, fill in all those gaps. This really, most of the soil came off pretty easily, so it really doesn't need to be washed, but this is the final process here. Get rid of some of the residual soil without getting the camera wet. So now what I do is I wrap this in some wet media, like a paper towel or newspaper. And I try to get it into a bag, plastic bag. Then I've been using these moisture crystals, which sort of adds to the weight though, but it's only going to be 2 to 3 days for shipping with priority mail. So this isn't going to dry out before that time. Then I try to compact this as much as possible by taping it with packing tape. Now the shipping tubes come in 26 and 28 inch lengths. So for shorter plants, so they don't shift around, you can either tape it to the inside of the box, or like to tape like a bamboo stick to the root ball and adjust it accordingly. You know, if it's a small plant and it's going in the 24-inch length tube, it won't be shifting from one end to the other. It'll be kept in place by the bamboo stick. So that's one way. We're also, just like I said, just taping it to the inside of the box to secure it. Now this is going to be longer than 38 inches, I think. So if I trim that to the box, it's not going to be shifting anyways. And then you just wrap this with some tape or some twine. Get it all in a nice neat bundle. And that's it. Now, because of the triangle shape, it accommodates this round root ball here, easily. And even if it's bulging a little bit, post office doesn't care. It's still 6 by 6 by 38. This one's 38 inches long. It's all set to go. Again, it's 2 to 3 day shipping, so if I ship this today, it's easily like Washington State. It'd get there by Saturday easily. And that's how I've been shipping them. So this is New England Gardening. Just processing some of these fig trees that need to be adopted. Just been sitting around in pots too long. I'm not putting them to use. Somebody could be getting figs off of these. So, thanks for watching.